Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tearing into something that is absolutely everywhere, shaping how you buy, how companies sell, and frankly, how a massive part of the economy actually works: marketing. And we're not talking about just, the ads you see. We mean the whole process, the fundamental way a company connects with you, builds value, and, builds a relationship. We've got a great stack of sources for this deep dive, including some really concise insights from Marketing in 100 Minutes, which promises a fast, clear look at the whole field. Our mission today is to pull out the essential frameworks, let's say the core knowledge from these sources, so you walk away with a really clear, actionable understanding of marketing fundamentals. It goes way beyond just selling, touches on product design, even things like sustainability. So let's just dive straight in. Forget the billboards for a sec. What is marketing, really, at its absolute core, according to these materials?
Okay, yeah, good question. Fundamentally, the definition we're seeing is that marketing is the process of creating value for customers and then building sustainable relationships with them. And the goal, ultimately, is to capture value back from those customers in return. It's really positioned as a key driver of profit and growth. It's about choosing your market and figuring out how to serve them best.
Right, so it's not just about, physical stuff you buy in the store. These sources say there are loads of different things you can market. 10 types, is it?
Exactly. Yeah, physical goods are obvious, but it's way broader. Think services like your bank or a haircut. Events could be anything from a local fair to the Olympics. Experiences like Disney World, right? That's presented as this carefully crafted mix of goods and services. Even person celebs, politicians building their brand. And places too, cities, countries marketing themselves for tourism or investment, basically anything that satisfies a need or want.
And it sounds like the way companies think about doing this, that's changed quite a bit over the years. It wasn't always about relationships and value.
Oh, not at all. The sources trace this whole evolution. Early on, you had the production concept, all about efficiency, making things cheap. The danger there, though, is what they call marketing myopia. You get so focused on production, you forget what the customer actually wants.
Right, tunnel vision.
Pretty much. Then came the product concept, focus on the best quality, the most features. But again, same risk of myopia if you just assume a great product sells itself. After that, you get the selling concept. This was just push, push, push. Sell what you make. Don't worry so much about what people need. Think like things people don't normally seek out.
Okay, so very company focused, not customer focused.
Exactly. Which leads us to the big shift. The marketing concept. This flips it completely. Instead of make and sell, it's sense and respond.
Yeah.
Understand customer needs and wants in your target market and then satisfy them better than the competition. That's the core idea. Really customer-centric.
That makes a lot more sense. So where does the thinking go from there? What's the cutting edge now?
Well, building on that, we see things like relationship marketing. This is about building strong, long-term ties. Not just with customers, but with suppliers, distributors, everyone involved, an integrated approach. Then there's holistic marketing, this idea that everything matters, all parts of the company need to work together for marketing, and significantly, societal marketing. This adds another layer. It says companies should balance three things: customer wants, company requirements, and society's long-term interests. Marketing with a conscience, essentially.
Okay, so bringing all that together, understanding needs, relationships, society that sounds like it needs some kind of plan, a structure.
Absolutely, and that's where marketing planning comes in. It's the formal process, basically asking, where are we now? How did we get here? Where do we want to go? And crucially, how do we get there? And part of that involves analysis tools. SWOT is a big one. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Looking inside and outside the company. And a really core strategic element is STP, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Dividing the market, choosing who to serve, and creating a clear identity for your offering in their minds.
All right, so that's the strategy, the thinking. How do marketers actually do it? What are the levers they pull day to day?
Okay, now we're getting into the tactical side. And the absolute foundation, highlighted here for being simple but powerful, is the marketing mix. You've probably heard of it, the 4 Ps.
Yes, the 4 Ps: product, price, place, promotion.
That's the one. These are the main operational tools marketers work with.
Let's break them down. First P, product. What exactly counts as a product here? Is it just the physical thing?
No, it's much wider. The sources define it as anything that can be offered that might satisfy a want or need. It's the total offer.
Yeah.
Think about buying a car. It's not just the metal and engine. It's the brand, the warranty, the financing options, the after-sales service. all part of the product.
Okay. And there are different layers to that product offer.
Yes, Levitt's model is used here. At the center is the core products, the fundamental benefit. Like with a hotel, it's rest and sleep. Then the expected product, the basic things you assume you'll get, like a clean bed in that hotel.
Right.
Then the augmented product. This is where differentiation happens. Things that exceed expectations, maybe free breakfast or a pool at the hotel. And finally, the potential product, which is everything it could become in the future, all the possible future additions and transformations.
And companies usually sell more than one thing, right? They have a whole mix.
Exactly. Managing that product mix involves thinking about its width, how many different product lines, length, total items within those lines, and depth, variations of each item like size or color.
Okay. What about services? Marketing a service seems, well, different.
It really is, and the sources pinpoint why. Services have these unique characteristics. First, they're intangible. You can't see or touch a financial advisor's advice beforehand, so marketers need to manage the evidence, the office, the website, the advisor's demeanor to signal quality.
Makes sense.
They're also perishable. An empty seat on an airplane, that revenue is gone forever, can't store it. They're heterogeneous, meaning they vary. Your experience at a restaurant can differ based on the server, the chef, even the other customers. It's hard to standardize completely because of the human element.
Right, yeah.
And finally, they're inseparable. The service is produced and consumed at the same time, and the customer is often part of the process. Like getting a haircut, you're right there, interacting with the provider.
So with all those differences, do the 4 Ps still work for services, or do we need more?
That's a good point. Some models expand to 7 Ps for services, adding people because staff are often key to the service experience. Process how the service is delivered matters a lot, and physical evidence, the environment where it happens. The sources note these can technically be folded into the original 4 Ps, but the main takeaway is don't neglect these crucial service elements however you categorize them.
Got it. And companies can't just rest on their laurels with existing products. They need new ones.
Absolutely. New product development, NPD, is vital. Tastes change, tech advances, competitors emerge. You need a flow of new ideas. And managing products over time uses the product lifecycle, PLC model. This tracks sales through stages: introduction, growth, maturity, decline. It helps marketers adapt strategy as the product ages.
Let's talk about branding, that name on the product that seems incredibly important.
Hugely important. Branding is about creating identity and meaning. The sources discuss strategies for developing brands. You have line extensions, new variations, same brand, same category, like different flavors of yogurt from the same company. Then, brand extensions. Using a successful brand name to enter a new category. Like, say, if a sports drink company started making energy bars. This can be risky, though. The sources mention potential confusion or damaging the original brand if the extension fails. The Pierre Cardin example is given licensing the name so widely it lost its prestige.
Right, brand dilution.
Exactly. Other approaches are multi-brands, multiple brands from one company in the same category, like P&G does with laundry detergents. And new brands, creating a totally new brand for a new category, or when an existing one isn't working, like Toyota creating Lexus. But all these extensions and multiple brands can spread resources thin, cause confusion, even cannibalize sales. So there's a trend towards focusing on fewer, stronger mega brands.
Okay, that's a lot on product. Let's shift to the second P, pricing. This one feels different. It's where the money comes in.
It is unique in that way. Price generates revenue, the others are costs. But pricing is incredibly complex. Internally, you have your costs, fixed costs that don't change with production, variable costs that do, and the total costs. These set the floor price, you need to cover them.
But price isn't just about costs, is it? What about the customer?
Absolutely critical. Market and demand factors are huge. How sensitive are buyers to price changes? That's price elasticity. And the sources point out things that make customers less price sensitive if the product is unique, high quality, prestigious, or if it's hard to compare substitutes.
And then there's the competition. You can't ignore them.
Never. You have to consider competitors' prices and how they might react if you change yours. The Sony camera example shows this. People compare across brands. A price war often just hurts everyone's margins.
So with all that complexity, how do companies actually set a price? What are the main approaches?
Well, there's the simpler cost-plus pricing. Just add a standard markup to your cost. Easy, but ignores demand and competition. Then there's break-even analysis. This helps figure out how many units you need to sell at a certain price just to cover all your costs. The example given calculates needing to sell 30,000 watches at 20 to break even, given 10 variable costs and 300K fixed costs.
Useful calculations, Beth.
But as the sources strongly state, neither cost plus nor break even alone is enough. They miss the crucial market perspective.
So what's the better, more market-focused approach?
That's value-based pricing, and this is really key. Instead of starting with your product and costs, you start with the customer. You figure out what value they perceive in your offering, and you set the price based on that perceived value. That price then informs your product design and target costs. It completely flips the cost-based logic.
That makes so much more sense. Customer first. What about pricing brand new products? Any specific strategies?
Two main ones are highlighted. Market skimming pricing. Launching with a high price to capture maximum revenue from early adopters willing to pay more. Think new tech gadgets. It works if the product has a high-quality image, enough buyers want it at that price, and competitors can't easily undercut you.
Okay, skim the cream off the top. What's the alternative?
Market penetration pricing. Launching with a low initial price to attract a large number of buyers quickly and gain market share fast. This is better if the market is price sensitive, you expect competition soon, and your production costs will fall as volume increases. Get big, fast.
Right, price covered. Let's hit the third P place. This is about getting the product to the customer, right?
Yeah.
Distribution.
Exactly. Distribution, or place, is about making sure the right product is in the right place at the right time and in the right quantities. It involves the marketing channel, that whole set of organizations that help move the product along.
And channels aren't all the same.
Yeah.
Direct versus indirect.
Correct. Direct channels mean the producer sells straight to the consumer. Think Dell selling computers online, or that farmer's market stall. Indirect channels involve intermediaries, wholesalers, retailers, agents. Most consumer goods use indirect channels. The sources also mention disintermediation, cutting out these intermediaries. Think how iTunes or Spotify changed music distribution, bypassing traditional record stores.
So how does a company decide which channel setup to use? And how widely available should the product be?
That's channel design. It starts with setting clear distribution objectives like, say, achieve 75% market coverage in major urban areas within 1 year. Then you figure out the necessary channel functions. Who will do the research, promotion, contact, matching, negotiation, physical distribution, financing, risk-taking. These tasks have to be done by someone in the channel. Based on this, you choose your distribution intensity. Intensive distribution. Get it everywhere possible. Think candy bars, soft drinks. Selective distribution. Use more than one, but not all. Willing outlets like for TVs or furniture. Exclusive distribution. Only one or very few dealers in a given area, typical for luxury cars or high-fashion brands.
Like a spectrum of availability.
Exactly. And selecting the specific channel partners involves evaluating them on things like their track record, other lines carried, financial stability, service capabilities. You look at economic criteria, control issues, and how adaptable the channel structure is.
Do companies try to exert more control over these channels?
Often, yes. We see vertical integration, where a company tries to control different levels of the channel. Forward integration is like a manufacturer opening its own stores. Backward integration is like a retailer buying a manufacturing plant. The sources mention vertical marketing systems, VMS, where channel members act as a unified system through ownership, contracts, or sheer power to be more efficient and manage conflict better than conventional independent channels. Integration often makes sense when the open market isn't coordinating things effectively.
Okay, but today, we buy things everywhere, online, phones, stores. How does place handle that complexity?
This is a huge shift. We went from single channel, just stores, to multi-channel, stores, website, catalog, but often run separately. Then maybe cross-channel, some coordination. But the goal now is omni-channel strategy. This is crucial. It's about integrating all touch points online, mobile app, physical store, social media, customer service, to provide one seamless, consistent experience for the customer, no matter how they interact with you.
Can you give me...
Sure. You might research a product on your laptop, check stock on your phone app, go to the store to see it, maybe use your phone in the store to compare prices or arrange delivery. Omnichannel aims to make that whole journey smooth and connected. It's truly customer-centric, not channel-centric.
Okay, that makes sense. What about the actual nuts and bolts moving the physical goods?
That's marketing logistics or physical distribution. It's the planning, implementing, and controlling the flow of goods, services, and information from point of origin to point of consumption, getting the right product to the right customer in the right place at the right time. It's part of the broader supply chain management, which looks upstream, suppliers, and downstream channels. Key logistics areas mentioned are customer service levels, transportation choices, inventory management, balancing holding costs versus stockouts, and distribution operations like warehousing.
Right. Final P, promotion. This is the communication part, how companies talk to us.
Exactly. Promotion is about informing, persuading, reminding, and reinforcing consumers about an organization or its products. It aims to influence opinions or elicit a response. And the key concept here is integrated marketing communication, IMC. It's about coordinating all the different promotional tools, advertising, PR, social media, etc., so they work together harmoniously to deliver a clear, consistent, and compelling message. Avoid sending mixed signals.
So what are the main tools in this communication toolbox according to the sources?
They list 8 main ones: advertising, sales promotion, public relations, sponsorship, social media marketing, direct marketing, personal selling, and product placement. Advertising is any paid form of non-personal presentation. The sources mention different models of how it might work, like AIDA, awareness, interest, desire, action, or ATR, awareness, trial, reinforcement, suggesting maybe it often reinforces rather than creates desire from scratch. Key advertising decisions involve setting objectives like building awareness or prompting trial, setting the budget. Methods range from simple like percentage of sales to more strategic like objective and task, and choosing the media, balancing reach, frequency, impact across TV, online, social, etc., using metrics like GRPs.
Okay. Sales promotion, that's the discounts and freebies, right?
Yep. Sales promotions are short-term incentives to encourage purchase or trial. Can be aimed at consumers, coupons, samples, loyalty cards, the trade, discounts to retailers, or business customers, trade shows, contests. Good for a quick boost, but risk training customers to only buy on deal.
Public relations, or PR, what's that about?
PR is about building good relations with the company's various publics. Could be customers, employees, investors, the community, media, government. It involves getting favorable publicity, building a good corporate image, and handling unfavorable rumors or events. Often seen as more credible than ads because it's earned media, not directly paid for.
And sponsorship. Feels like that's everywhere, especially sports.
It really is. Sponsorship is basically paying for the right to associate your brand with an event, person, or cause for commercial benefit. Objectives might be publicity, like sponsoring the World Cup, creating positive associations, like Red Bull and extreme sports, or community goodwill. Selecting sponsorships involves checking for audience fit, strategic alignment, potential risks, like the Festina cycling doping scandal example. Evaluating it is tricky, looking at exposure, communication effects, and ideally sales impact, though that link can be hard to prove directly.
The internet and social media must have completely changed the game here.
Absolutely. Web 2.0 is highlighted as shifting communication from one-way broadcast to multi-way conversation, with user-generated content being key. The internet offers interactivity, global reach, allows customers to pull information, and blends selling and advertising. Social media marketing is all about leveraging these platforms for engagement and dialogue.
What about direct marketing?
Direct marketing involves connecting directly with carefully targeted individuals for an immediate response and to cultivate lasting customer relationships. Think personalized emails, direct mail, telemarketing. It's grown massively, offering convenience for buyers and precise targeting for sellers, often relying on detailed customer databases.
And personal selling. Still important.
Definitely, especially for complex B2B sales or high-value consumer goods. Personal selling is that face-to-face interaction. It's adaptable, persuasive, but also the most expensive promotion tool per contact. It involves sales force management, recruiting, training, motivating salespeople. And the sources outline a typical 7-step selling process: prospecting, pre-approach, approach, presentation, handling objections, closing, and follow-up.
Lastly, product placement. Seeing brands in movies and TV shows.
Right. Product placement is deliberately embedding products or logos within entertainment content, usually for a fee. The Minority Report example is cited. Reasons for its growth include reaching audiences who avoid traditional ads, creating positive associations, James Bond's Aston Martin, adding realism, message repetition, getting around ad restrictions, and targeting specific demographics via the show's audience.
Wow. Okay, that's a deep dive into the 4 Ps. We've covered product, price, place, promotion. But the sources seem to suggest marketing is bigger than just these tactics, right? It's about a wider context.
Absolutely. The thinking expands beyond just the customer transaction. There's partner relationship management. This means working closely not just with customers, but with partners inside the company, getting different departments like R&D and finance aligned with marketing. The quote used is David Packard's. Marketing is far too important to be left only to the marketing department. And it also means working closely with partners outside the company, suppliers, distributors, treating them as collaborators in creating and delivering value. It's an integrated view.
And there's a clear emphasis on ethics in these sources.
Very much so. Ethical marketing conduct and marketing ethics are stressed the moral principles guiding decisions about product safety, truthful communication, fair pricing, responsible targeting, and environmental impact. It's presented not just as the right thing to do, but as essential for long-term sustainable success.
Which brings us nicely to sustainability itself.
Right. The sources introduce the triple bottom line, TBL, framework. It's about balancing 3 Ps: planet, environmental sustainability, people, social responsibility, human capital, community impact, and profits, economic viability. The underlying message is that genuine long-term business success comes from understanding customer needs and considering the well-being of all stakeholders, including society and the environment.
And it's good that the sources link these big ideas to some real-world examples.
Definitely. The �Wise-𝐸𝐭 case study is mentioned, likely showing how marketing principles can support entrepreneurship and socioeconomic development, hitting that people and possibly place marketing aspect. The 𝐔𝐬𝐴𝐿 example probably dives into services marketing and applying the mix in the entertainment sector. And the 𝐲𝐵𝐿𝐼A case study, focusing on holistic health, mind, body, spirit, connects directly to the people dimension of the TBL and societal well-being. These make the concepts more tangible.
So we really covered a huge amount today, drawn from these sources. Starting with that core idea of marketing is value creation and relationship building. We looked at how the thinking evolved, from just making stuff to truly understanding customers and society. Then we dug deep into the practical toolkit, the 4 Ps product, from the basic idea to branding, price, that complex balance of cost, competition, and customer value, place, getting it to you through different channels, including that seamless omni-channel experience, and promotion, all the ways companies communicate, ideally in an integrated way. And finally, we broadened the view to partner relationships, the absolute necessity of ethics, and that crucial idea of sustainability, the triple bottom line. Understanding all this really gives you, the listener, a much richer perspective on the business world you navigate every day.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with, building on these sources. As you go about your day interacting with brands, start to notice, are they just pushing a product? Or can you see signs that they're genuinely trying to build a relationship, create real value, and perhaps even consider their impact on the planet and people, that triple bottom line? It definitely changes how you perceive the companies around you.